Hi everyone. We are now going to talk about the second part of the weakness of the Weimar government. In the first section, we mentioned about how unpopular the Weimar government was because of structural weaknesses as well as opposition from various groups. Now, we're going to look at the inability of the Weimar government to solve Germany's economic problems. In the 1920s, Germany was suffering from economic hardship and poverty. This was made worse due to the crippling reparations that Germany had to pay due to the Treaty of Versailles. In 1923, Germany could not pay reparations. France responded by invading the Ruhr. In response, the Weimar government tried to solve the problem by printing more money. However, instead of solving the problem, the printing of more money led to hyperinflation. The more money was printed, its value decreased. To show how terrible the situation hyperinflation caused, let's take a look at some photos of Germany in the 1920s. In this picture, the lady has decided to make a dress out of German marks because the German mark had become so worthless by the time Germany was in the 1920s. Over here, you have groups of children who are using the mark as building blocks because German marks could no longer be of any value. Another case in point was the price of bread in Berlin. As you can see, in December 1918, the price of a loaf of bread was 0.5 German mark. By January 1923, prices had shot up to 250 marks for a price of a loaf of bread. And by November 1923, in the same year, the loaf of bread had become so expensive that many Germans took their salary and rushed to the provision shop because they were afraid that they could no longer buy anything with their daily salary. Now imagine that you are in your 60s and you are nearing retirement. You have saved diligently and you are looking forward to a comfortable retirement. Now suddenly in the 1920s, hyperinflation hits you. Your savings for the past 4 decades can now only buy you a loaf of bread. How would you feel? Who would you think is responsible for your sorry state? Yes, that's exactly how many Germans felt in the 1920s. Many Germans lost their savings overnight and became poor. They blamed the Weimar government for their plight. The Weimar government lost the support of the Germans who felt that the government had failed them. This undermined the authority of the Weimar government. The problem was only resolved when the new chancellor, Gustav Stresemann, replaced the worthless currency, with a new currency known as the Rentenmark. In addition, to help with the repayment of reparations, Gustav Stresemann also negotiated with the USA for loans. At the same time, he resolved the border tensions between Germany and France. Just as you think that things got better for Germany economically, another economic crisis hit Germany in the 1930s. Gustav Stresemann had borrowed money from the USA to pay Germany's reparations. This made Germany highly reliant on US loans. In 1929, the stock market crashed in the USA. This sparked off a worldwide economic crisis, a period known as the Great Depression. The US started to recall its loans from Germany. Obviously, Germany could not pay. This plunged Germany into another economic crisis. Businesses closed down and massive unemployment resulted. Many Germans suffered. The Weimar government could not take decisive action to resolve the crisis. From the Germans' perspective, enough was enough. They saw how ineffective the Weimar government was due to its structural weakness. They saw the inability of the Weimar government to put down rebellions. They also saw their life savings wiped out due to hyperinflation. With the inability of the Weimar government to help the Germans in the Great Depression, the Weimar government lost the support of the Germans. Many Germans looked elsewhere for alternatives such as the Nazi Party or the Communist Party. In summary, the Weimar government that was established after World War I was weak and unpopular with the people. This stemmed from two main factors. Firstly, the political weakness of the Weimar government and the inability of the Weimar government to solve economic problems in the 1920s and 30s. In the next series, we will be examining the strengths of the Nazi Party and how this enabled them to win the support and vote of the Germans and rise to power. Thank you.